Last time on QuestFest.
The Dropouts will open in the White Elk Inn, where they've just arrived, and you will be recounting the tale that got you there. For this session or sessions, there is a new mechanic. All of the players will start with 2 story coins, where effectively you can say, wait, that's not how I remember it, and change whatever's happening. We're going to be opening as the campus is engaged in a warfare simulation. Please describe your character.
Hi, my name is Edwin Wilburn.
Bonjour, my name is Sheep Jerke.
And to their right, a small, fey creature.
Hello, I'm Ran Ferngullah.
Yes, my name is Thurin Enthelion of the Bastion Enthelions. You might have heard of them.
The 4 of you have been assigned to function as what is essentially a small independent squad. You are under the charge of Sir Joffrey Godport. He is essentially, in this situation, your commanding officer. He is a year ahead of you in the school, and effectively, he is in contact with the teachers. None of you died. Perfect. We have our orders, and he points to one of the towers. We are to retrieve medical supplies and bring them to the back lines. Now before you, formerly, this would be the entrance to one of the mage specialty towers. It is the tallest tower on the campus. However, currently it is converted.
And this is where we need to be?
Yes, inside are the supplies that you were told to gather.
Edwin, do you have a way to open magical locks?
I can keep doing the sand, but I don't know any spells to break locks yet. Anybody else know how to do that?
No, not entirely.
Now, unfortunately, all I got is my axe here. So I'm not much help unless we want to beat the door down, but I don't really recommend that after that arrow.
Brian, can I toss a pinch of sand at the door?
Sure.
I'm like super cautious.
Yeah. The sand will bounce off the door, but have no evident effect otherwise.
Okay.
Do you advance closer so that you are now 5 feet? You're basically on the tile in front of the door, 5 feet, within 5 feet.
Yes.
Okay. Now that you're close, you can see that just to the door, there seems to be engravings to the left and right and middle. Do you investigate further?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Go ahead and roll. I will say, one thing to establish is obviously if you take enough time and there's obvious engravings, it doesn't matter if you roll a 1. If you decide you're going to take a minute to stare at an engraving that is not hidden, you will see it. Just a heads up.
If I see
but
it,
as a
then
quick
I'm going
glance.
to investigate to see if I can decipher
Exactly.
like what it means.
And that's what I was going to say, is this is just to establish for the audience a little bit, obviously, that in this case.
Investigation's only 11.
So a quick glance, you notice that there are the 2 engravings. They sit in the middle, one to the right of the stairs to the left, or the door to the left, which you can see are stairs. And then to the right, which also is shielded, leading upward. One has a raised pattern that looks like, to us modern, almost like Braille over a 2 squares across, 3 squares down. On the other, it is blank, but is 2 squares across and 3 squares down. On one side, it is empty. There's nothing there. On the other side, there is little dots, as though modern day Braille, raised up on the second of the top row, both of the middle row, and then the left on the bottom row.
Okay. Can I try to mirror that on the other one?
How do you do so?
I don't.
Like put your finger or like what?
Yeah. Can I touch it and touch the? I want to try it mirrored from the first one. Touch
That's the sound.
the left on the top, both on the middle, and the right on the bottom.
Okay. You feel it, but it just feels like slab. It's slick and smooth, but doesn't seem to have any obvious effect. Behind you, as you interact, the colors begin to fade from the floor.
Okay. Does anyone else have any ideas? I'm pretty stumped by this one.
Should we... There is 4 of us, and there is 4 of the raised dots. Do you think maybe if we stand on the tiles in that order?
That's brilliant.
Sounds good to me.
So
Let's give it a try.
I'll walk to the farthest right one.
I got your meaning.
Okay.
So we stand on all 4 of the
Yeah.
tiles that are engraved on the thing. And I probably
The only important thing to note is who is at the front closest to the door, and then who is at the back closest to the exit.
I think
Where,
I was leading this idea, so I am going
Yeah.
towards the exit.
Okay, so, and then who will stay closest then?
I
Brigitte?
guess Edwin will stay closest.
Cool. You arrive. The colors you notice have almost fully faded from the previously sanded tiles. And as you step and they light up, the door nearest the raised tiles with the braille, you see the field dissipate, creating an entrance on the stairway.
Oh my god, I'm so smart. I solved your door puzzle.
Good job, sheep. That was really
Spoiler.
good.
I was most worried about trying to explain that door puzzle with no visual medium. It's why I deliberately didn't use Roll20.
It's fine. Yeah.
That would have been real easy if we could see it.
Yeah.
Puzzle kind of reminds me of Kirby.
Onward into the door
Okay, let's go.
before this hallway shoots us.
Run, Forrest, run.
Who is this forest?
Keep referencing these things. I don't.
It's from my land
understand
over in the... It's from the Feywild.
Oh God, the Feywild's just gonna have it's just gonna be a
All of the
parody of
references.
90s and 2000s pop culture. Wait,
You figured out my plan.
So, we go towards the door.
all right.
And that is my Frankie shaking his collar at me.
Familiar. You exit and go up the stairs, a quick flight upward, and you enter into a room very similar to what was before. This time, however, the tiles are all dark, almost near a black blue. The walls themselves are still vaguely colorless. This time, the room is roughly 25 feet across and about the same in length. And across, again, you see 2 doors, both blocked with a blue energy.
Shall we try the same process to get across?
It worked last time.
Couldn't hurt, I suppose.
So you step into the, or onto the, I should say, tiles then.
Yes.
Who's going first?
I will go first.
You step and roll a dexterity save.
Oh man, I finally got a bad roll.
Now's not the time.
Can Thurin reach out and help and try to grab?
I got an 8.
So technically, I should say no, because You didn't say you were going to help her. You weren't readying in action. This is also a save, so this time it is a no, but specifically because it is a dexterity save.
I got you.
She steps and falls into what appears to be a murky water, and her head is immediately pulled underneath.
This isn't how I remember it happening.
Okay. It's funny you should mention that. Of course, I believe that, Ren, you are using your one of your storytelling coins here to... Okay.
You would believe right, sir.
Then you don't step forward. Ren, what happened instead of her stepping forward?
Instead of you stepping forward, all of a sudden the sand that Edwin used earlier tickles your nose a little bit, and you sneeze and you stumble back a little bit, and we then notice that things have changed and that is no longer something that we want.
As you do so, from sneezing, you notice that the water, the surface tension breaks as the ground around it moves a little as you sort of stumble, and you see the petals breaking or blossoming out. Not petals, whatever it's called when you throw a rock or something. Ripples. Good Lord. Why am I a wordsmith? What am I? Like a word hammer.
I would like to touch the wall.
The wall?
Mm-hmm.
So kind of extending out and reaching out into the room, or from where you are in the staircase? Like just the actual wall beside you?
The wall in the room.
Okay. You touch it, and your hand seems to lose color for momentarily as the wall absorbs the color.
Mm-hmm.
In front of you, the water shifts upward, and as it does so, it fills, quote unquote. Okay, I've got to stop saying that. Backwards, and is now suspended in the air by the wall that you touched. Below you, there is no, not but perhaps for you, actually almost all the way up to your hips, worth of water in the room. But to your left, suspended in air, is an amount of water you could swim in.
Mm-hmm.
This word picture is I'm still not grasping it very well.
So where Jeep touched the wall, water from below on the floor filled upward as though someone had taken a bucket and dumped it backwards. And the water, which was on the floor, drained up into the space on the wall, roughly 5 by 5 feet, creating a suspended sphere of water that one could roughly jump in and swim. Below, where the water was, the roughly rectangular square portion is no longer, leaving just what would be to a normal size character like ankles worth, but to half your characters, your hips, because you're so short, worth of water.
Mm-hmm.
So we could feasibly jump down to that square and wade through the water, and then touch the wall panels to get the water out of it.
You could. You would realize that it would be quite a reach. I don't know how tall. Who's the tallest here?
Thurin.
It'd be Thurin.
You,
6'3".
I believe you could reach. You would have the arm span to reach up and tap the wall. But you would be reaching quite a bit.
But Thurin, could you maybe reach up another shorter person to touch the wall?
That's what I was going to say.
Yes, will you wipe your feet before you stand on my shoulders? At least.
Yeah, I can do that for you.
Okay.
Either that, or I
thank
can
you.
even take off the shoes if you'd rather.
That would be worse if you could just wipe your shoes.
All right.
Edwin, I don't want to cast a spell so I don't become invisible. I was going to
Don't worry about
prestidigitate
it.
them so they're clean.
How long does invisibility last?
1 hour.
Okay. About how long into it are we at this point?
Surprisingly short. The mad dash across the battlefield, though it took us in real life,
Forever.
Closer to 30 minutes. It would only have been 10, maybe 15 minutes And that's really being generous. I would say potentially shorter. You were approaching the half-hour mark, if you had to judge. So is the plan for you to then drop into the sort of the pit and then walk along the edge, tagging the wall as you go along?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
With Surin carrying Rin atop his shoulders.
As long as he's okay with it, I'm okay with it.
I'm not, but I'm doing it anyway.
So I suppose you could say that we have Thurin for the win.
Oh my god.
I suppose we could not say that too.
I suppose that should now be a ship name. Thurin.
Oh no.
Damn it,
We haven't
Brian.
even...
You're already creating fan fiction.
All right. If you're going to drop into the pit, it is a 5-foot drop. So at least roll me an acrobatics check to see if you land on your feet.
Me and Thorin, or just Thorin?
We're all tied together.
Both of you. I was going to say, if you're going down, you're all going down.
And we're rolling what now?
Acrobatics, please.
And Edward's going all the way down with a 6 acrobatics check.
I got an 11, so it is not great for me.
Rand got a 17.
You really just had to roll a 10.
So here's the fun thing. This time I did not roll a 7. This time I rolled a 6 plus 1 to make a modified 7.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know what's happening. I'm scared.
What have you done to the dice gods?
I'm really afraid since I'm on your shoulders what that means for me.
Oh, God.
Well, you're not on his shoulders yet. This was dropping into the pit. But that does mean anyone who rolled less than a 10, you take a D4 of damage.
Damn it.
Which, according to my D4 here, was a 2. So, X.
Oh, yeah, then I'm just down.
Oh, no.
I do not remember us falling into the pit.
Good point. Fair. Jeep, if that didn't happen, what do you remember happening?
I remember we lowered ourselves down into the pit very slowly since we are all attached with rope.
You successfully are on the ground.
Wonderful.
So, Ren, do you climb onto Thurin's shoulders?
Yeah.
All right. Explain to me what happens.
Well, he's quite tall, so it takes her a couple minutes to climb all the way up the top to like his shoulders.
Oh, I'll help. I'm not going to endure several minutes of this. I'll help you up to the top.
I'm so sorry to bother you in our time of death.
So,
Quite all right, actually. Thank you for apologizing.
so do you go around the pit then?
Yeah, yes.
Around?
I mean, it's a square.
Well,
so we
it's a
gotta go
square,
to the,
Yeah.
technically.
Yeah.
panels
I
on the
roll around.
sides.
Because you can't go straight. You'll have to go all the way, following the room.
Going around town.
So I'll just walk around.
This is fairly safe. And also, fun fact, not what I expected you to do. So, you walk around, tagging the wall, watching the water drip. As you get approximately a minute or two ahead, you notice the water behind you beginning to fill back into place. But you are well ahead of it. It seems that the water is incapable of moving or sloshing past the squares it's in. So when it is in the pit, it is in its square. You come around. You are now 6 feet below the stairs and the 2 doors and the sort of platform there. How do you intend to get up? It's only 6 feet, so I mean, Thurin, you can touch the top. I mean, you're capable of,
Ren is already above it.
Mm-hmm.
Could we help Jeep up to the top? And then Jeep, you're pretty strong. Could you help pull us up?
Of course. I am more dexterous than I am strong, but I will give it a shot.
I can try to help lift from the bottom, I suppose.
I could always help Jeep if she needs it.
Okay, we do that.
So y'all push me up to the top. Sorry, that's
Okay.
Brian's accent.
Jeep,
Bop, 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 doo, doo, doo.
I'm actually not going to make you roll for this. I feel like it's fairly simple to hand somebody up to the top. And it is also, again, it is literally about a 6 foot.
Mhm.
Go ahead, and I'm going to assume you take the time to carefully make your way up there.
Mhm.
The door is open.
Ooh.
So we go up the stairs to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
As you walk up the stairs, about halfway up this flight, you hear chittering, like that of woodland animals almost. Squirrels, maybe. Do you proceed forward?
Yeah.
Can I peek into the room?
As you come up, you can see without even needing to
Okay.
peek. As you sort of ascend the stairs, you can look in and you see that there are 3 large, when I say large, I mean the D&D term large, rodents standing, quote, question mark. They're on their back paws and they are scraping at where you presume the door would be across the hallway.
Søren, I think now may be a good time for you to heal us in case these rodents are not friendly.
It is worth noting,
Yes.
for the sake of the viewing audience who may not know, by definition, a large creature is at least 15 feet across.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't. They're at the door.
The other door.
Yeah, the other
so
door
where you would
we
imagine.
are
Mhm.
going to try and be going.
If you keep going closer, so that was just a first glance, you may all roll perception checks as you sort of get within 10 feet, 5 feet, or 5 feet of the door.
I got a net 20.
I did too. Justin, you need this.
Justin, what were you gonna say before we roll our bad rolls?
I was really about to test the limits of the chicanery I'm allowed to do, and I was going to say I don't remember them being large.
Oh,
Justin,
I love it.
what do you, or not Justin, I'm sorry, Thurin. What do you remember?
Well, I mean, I remember them being sort of rat-sized, so like just small regular rats. I don't know why we're blowing them out of proportion.
And boom, the game
seems-
is broken.
It seems that the smaller members of the party were misrepresenting the size of the rats.
Yes.
The small rats in front of you are scratching at the door. But as you notice, there are a lot of them.
Ryan and I got a net 20 on our perception checks.
Okay.
We're actually bigger than these ones, so.
I want to perceive, I guess, too. Yeah, Edwin only got an 11 on perception.
Okay.
I think we need a dice jail at this point for this group.
For real. Okay. So
Just
you got
17. Justin got a 17. He didn't get a 7.
Yay!
It still has a 7 in it.
nice.
It did. It does. That's weird. Let's not look at it too hard.
quick. Who rolled higher than a 15? Okay, those who rolled higher than a 15.
For those who are listening, everyone but Edwin raised their hand.
Thank you.
Which is great for an audio medium.
The room is roughly 20 feet across by 15 feet wide. No, reversed. Sorry. 20 feet wide, 15 feet across. The rats that you had mistaken for being large for some reason are just a swarm of rats that are crawling over themselves to get in the door. In the room, you notice that the tiles are all this gray color, seemingly the color of the rats themselves. With those who had a higher than 15, so almost the whole party, you notice in the corner where one of the tiles is beginning to lose color, you see a sheen of thick blue-white ice shimmering back across. So you're about 5 feet behind the door. The rats have not noticed you. What do you do?
I think the rats are trying to get away from the ice.
Checks out.
I mean, I have a couple of torches in my bag. Can we just like throw one over, light it and throw it over and see if it melts the ice?
Sure. Maybe that's a good idea.
Maybe you should give it to Jeep over here since she has the dexterity so we don't get the rats and we get the ice instead.
Yeah, that sounds fair. Here you go.
Also have torches.
Torch.
Okay.
Oh, well, okay, then you use one of yours.
The lady has torches.
I would like to light one of my torches and toss it over to where the ice is.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an attack roll for me.
Ooh, an attack roll. 16.
You are able to throw it into the corner with no problem. It hits the ground, lit, and immediately the tile catches on fire.
Mm-hmm.
The heat from the tile seems to cause a chain reaction, and the next two tiles catch on fire. It spreads. The rats, which have stopped pawing at the door, begin running from the fire towards you, the only other exit there is. As they get close to the door, they collide with an invisible force. Moments pass. I'll leave it to your imaginations of what happens. But after about 5 minutes, the fire goes away, leaving naught but colorless tiles, an open doorway behind it, and blackened ash in front of you.
Jeez.
I want to say that's not how it happened, but also we got rid of the rats.
You did get rid of the rats. But will we ever get rid of those tiny, tiny screams?
Or the smell in our nostrils.
Nope, never will.
I want you to know there's such a strong part of me that almost really began to describe that macabre scene, and I was like, nope, this is the slightly less dark group. This is we're
Slightly.
If this was the prison, we'd be like, and their tiny corpses crawling over each other as they crumble to dust. Their piercing screams. Anyway,
The gentle popping as the inner fluids.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Stop.
Yeah, Justin.
No.
I like that Brian was like, we're not going to describe it. Okay, let me describe it. And Justin's like, let me help.
Ren just sits there and goes, smells like barbecue from back home.
Justin takes the help action on describing it.
Yeah.
Justin gives Brian the help action.
I think Edwin is gonna try and use up an old trick and try and pour a tiny bit of sand on the first floor tile in front of us and see if that starts to spread too.
Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream.
Actually, nothing happens. As you pour it, instead of before, as it would hit, it was almost soundless. Now it tinks as though sand hitting a tile. They seem inert.
Okay, so maybe we already set off the trap. So should we try and just go across?
If everything follows suit, I'd say we set off the trap, but we have about a minute to get through, so we should probably hurry.
Okay, let's go, I think.
You rush across. Rush. I'm Sean Connery.
Rush across the room.
You
Did
you enter the doorway.
last night, Trebek?
Suck it, Trebek.
You get across the room and you go up the flight of stairs. And as you enter up and go or feel yourself getting closer to the top, here you hear the sound of rain. Or what at least I should say. You hear droplets of water hitting the ground, what appears to simulate a rain sound.
And this is the point in the podcast where Cameron uses the rain stick sample that he used in the last song that he wrote because I have a big 4-foot rain stick that I built.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
This may or may not have been inspired by the song that you wrote, honestly.
Awesome.
This part.
Even the rats catching on fire.
That was the sexy guitar part. Was, to me, it was the rats.
Oh, good. I'm glad that my guitar playing reminds you of the
Rats
burning
popping.
death of rats.
Not to ruin his song completely, but I thought it was the congas, the gentle popping of rats.
Nice.
No.
I'm sorry.
All right. Well, glass is shattered. That's what it is now. Okay. So, as you get closer, the room itself is dark, but not so dark as to be unseen. It is dim light. Inside, the room looks almost full of vegetation, flora and fauna, like a rainforest, though your characters are unlikely to have seen or know that necessarily. But you see again the 2 staircases, and in the middle of this room is a small, sleeping, lizard-like creature. The doors across do not appear to be engaged. They are open. There is no force field.
But so Edwin is talking telepathically again. We're still invisible. Maybe we should just try and be quiet and sneak around it.
If not, I have my axe, and maybe I could slice them in half. I could try if anything goes awry.
I think the sound of rain should cover us up, hopefully.
We can hope.
As long
hope.
as it doesn't stop as soon as we step into the room.
Good point.
The way things have been going.
So we walk in.
Go ahead and roll stealth for me.
So advantage with invisibility, so flat for me.
Oh, advantage.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's so much better.
That is better.
What was it again, Brian?
Stealth.
With advantage?
Because we're invincible.
Not for her. Ren is in heavy armor, so.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a nat 1.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Well, I got an 18, but that probably will not matter since...
Yeah. Edwin got a 17, so I guess that probably won't matter, too.
What did
Ren
Ren?
got an 18, but that don't seem to matter none either.
Well, actually, the 3 of you will average out, even with the 1. I think I will. So it was 17.
I'm glad
Not
we had...
minus. What?
I am glad we had the advantage, though.
Yeah, without advantage, Edwin rolled really bad.
Yeah, you still succeed. Just barely, but you succeed. So, you enter the room and nothing happens. Are you continuing your way around the room to the door?
Yes.
I think so.
Saren, please try to not trip on anything this time.
I'm doing my level best. I'm just not used to trying to have to be quiet.
It's okay. You're doing a good job. Let's keep going.
As you make your way around, you exit the room. Behind you, the blue glow of the field erupts, or enacts, I should say. Excuse me. Sealing the room behind you, leaving you with another flight of stairs to climb.
Really glad I didn't have to make him into some gator nuggets.
Roll intelligence, Edwin.
Okay. Just flat intelligence?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that shows how smart Edwin is. That's a crit. +4, 24.
I almost feel bad because you needed like a 5 to get this. You recognize that this would beginning near the top of the constructed floors. You've been in this tower multiple times, and it's constructed and fake, but you are recognizing height wise. So
we're coming up on the top floor.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, I think this is going to be the top floor. So I guess if whatever we're trying to find is here, it's probably going to be up here. But maybe the hardest traps will be here. So keep your guard up.
As though responding to your voice, as you step forward, you feel your invisibility fade. This is a familiar feeling for those of you who've been in the academy. It is an anti-magic field that you've stepped through. Magic works on either side of it, but as you walk through, any protective barriers are dissipated.
I think now may be a good time.
I get the feeling that if we were going to
to heal.
I feel like if we were going to do a quick save or something, would have been right back there. Would have been the time to do it if that were a thing in real life.
Someone's working on that spell.
Quick save.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, I've only got 2 spell slots. So who's really hurt?
But I'm pretty hurt.
You and Edwin can use your healing.
Okay.
I think Rin and I are pretty alright.
All right. Sounds good. And then so I'll do a cure wounds on Edwin and myself. So that's 1d8 plus 4. So that is going to be for Edwin 12. So that's full health. And then for myself
7.
6.
That's all that.
Yeah, actually, 6 gets me back to full anyway.
Both
so
of us.
Yeah.
Thank you, Thorid.
Yes. Well, it's one thing I'm good at. So you're welcome.
Brian, what do we see in the room?
As you walk up the stairs, you see the darkness behind you is faded, and now there is a bright light looking natural. Those of you who glance upward can see that the entire ceiling is made of some luminescent material, and in patches appears to be translucent.
If we use the C buttons and look straight up, do we go to the wing cap world?
And you begin falling with dope music playing. As you reach the peak, you see a small chest in the middle of the room, along with 2 doors on the other side, both leading downward. This time you can see no flight of stairs upward. The room itself is the largest you've seen, at roughly 45 feet across and almost 60 feet length. So to clarify, from this door to the chest would be a full 30 feet. The room itself appears to be bare. The tiles are all the same shade and hue as the academy tiles typically are. You're at the doorway. There's nothing else inside. What do you do?
I don't think it looks pretty safe, but I don't know if I trust that. So maybe I can try and check it really quick. And Edwin is...
I will cast guidance before you do. So that'll give you a D4 to add to an ability roll.
Edwin is going to...
Or ability check.
30 feet is the range of this. He's going to cast Mage Hand and try and interact with the latch on the chest.
Okay. The latch does appear to be locked, but you can wrangle it around and move it. You see a series of sigils that you actually recognize from before. As you do so, roll perception checks, those of you who are within sight of the room.
Edwin rolled a 15.
16.
Justin, you will be proud I got a 7.
Yay, it's contagious.
Don't you do this to me.
Ran got a 14.
The case is 7-itis.
You all, anyone who rolled a 5 or above, so everyone, notice the non-pertinent details. Those of you who rolled a 15 or 17 notice specific details. But across the room, stepping into the room, are 4 students. 2 in front, dressed in the moniker of the Fighters School. 1 behind, a cleric wearing almost the same as Thurin. And 1 behind him, dressed in the colors of the Wizarding Academy. The 2 in front are tall, statuesque. Both are tieflings with skin the color of snow. Behind, the one dressed as in the wizard clothing is some sort of being with large bat-like wings and stands roughly 7 feet tall, taller than the rest. The cleric is short, having the traditional build of what looks to be a halfling. As they enter the room, they, having already noticed you, have already drawn their weapons and said, "Joffrey told us what to do here. You know." The halfling steps forward, muttering a spell, and a small glow envelops the 4 behind him. Ryan, now it's your turn.
I guess I'm gonna just ready my crossbow and get ready for some shit that's gonna go down, because I feel like that's what's gonna happen.
So, are you going to prepare an action, or are you going to use your action?
I'm gonna.
So they have made obvious aggressive actions. This is not necessarily subtle. They've readied their weapons and are advancing, as this is a moment static in time, but they are advancing towards you. Initiative is kind of weird like that, but you can tell they are moving towards you. This isn't a case where everyone's holding their breath. The wizard is if this was a movie, right, we would be watching the wizard zooming in, right, starting arcane gestures, wings unfurling as he leaps into the air, the 2 fighters moving side by side with their sword and shield towards you, and the cleric has just stepped forward and cast an illuminating light that echoed off of his companions, covering them in a glow.
Then by that I mean I want to actually start this shit and shoot.
Perfect. Roll an attack. Also, for those who do not have the pleasure of seeing Cameron on camera, you missed his almost poetic poses.
It's like an interpretive dance.
So that will be... That is...
And who are you attacking?
The cleric. Is the wrong die.
Okay. The cleric is behind the fighters, so he will have partial cover, making it a slightly more difficult shot.
Okay, so that is an 8.
That is a unsuccessful shot. You miss, the arrow going wide. You still have a move action. They're roughly 45 feet away from you. You know or could judge that it will take them about, if they run towards you, they will be to you next turn, or they will have to advance slowly, making it 2 turns. What do you do?
I'm going to just stand my ground for now.
Okay. From behind the 2 advancing foes, the fighters, the wizard leaps into the air. He is now hovering roughly 30 feet above the battlefield. His wings kicking up small cyclones of dust as he flaps them back and forth. And he points at Edwin, and a small beam of light emits from his finger. And does a 14 meet your armor class?
You know what? It sure does.
Oh no.
You take 3 damage. Also, I gotta get me some real dice now that I could be rolling on the table, but
Yeah, man.
Could, yeah.
I have them
gotta-
somewhere, but
We gotta hear that clickety clack.
I know.
All right.
Thurin, it is your turn.
Okay. So Thurin is wanting to do 2 things before he takes his turn. First of all, can Thurin roll an Arcana check to find out what that glow was that was cast?
Yes. And
Okay.
if you like, I'll give this to you. You could have done that as a reaction in response to the casting.
Oh, okay.
So you can always just so you know, and this is important too, because when it comes to counterspelling, this is actually a big deal in the rules.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to counterspell something, that is your reaction. It is also a reaction to roll an Arcana check. So you cannot do the same in the same round.
Okay.
Which is, it can be helpful, for example, the cleric rolling the Arcana check and yelling to the wizard, "It's a fireball!"
Gotcha. So, okay, well, I would like to... Can I retroactively do that as
Yes,
a...
I'll give it to
Okay.
you. That you would have done that, right? Like that in combat, you're a student, you know what you're doing. You're not going to be like, "The fuck was that?" No, I don't care.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Nope. Let's stick with the one that did me good. All right. Well, not gonna stick with that one anymore. That's a 5.
So this is a very common spell, and I suspect you have it. And I'm feeling generous, so I'll give you advantage, and you can roll again.
Okay. I mean, meta knowledge I can guess. I don't want to do that. That's better. Dirty 20.
That is indeed better. That is quite a bit better, in fact. So, looking at the spell before you, you recognize it immediately as Bless.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring. Okay. And then second piece of information I would like to gather. The wizard. How fucked up does the wizard look?
They're all bleeding extensively.
Cool. I would like to point directly at the wizard and cast Toll the Dead.
Ooh.
Which is a cantrip. You point at one creature you see within range, and the sound of a dolorous bell, dolorous bell fills the air around it for a moment. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or take 1d8 necrotic damage, but if the target is missing any of its hit points, it instead takes a d12 necrotic damage.
Oh.
So that is a wisdom 14.
All right, give me a second. Oh, he fails.
Yes! All right.
And that is, just so you know, he failed with Bless. I rolled that as well.
Wow, cool.
Yeah,
All right, so confirm that is a 1d12 then.
that is confirmed.
All right. So that is going to be 7 damage.
Not bad. So just as quickly as he rose, the wizard drops from the sky, and you hear a shattering of bones as he cracks into the floor. You recognize, with your skills as a cleric, that fall has actually placed him potentially into death. And as you sort of come to that conclusion, he begins to disintegrate and disappear and dissipate from the floor.
Well, that's definitely not supposed to happen.
It's because we are in an illusion.
That'll make sense.
Oh.
We cannot kill them in real life.
So you're saying if they die in here, they don't die in real life?
That is the theory, I think.
It isn't inception, it is exception.
It's deception.
Deception. Outception.
You have a bad reception.
A bad reception.
We're losing it. Losing our momentum.
The reception will be held immediately following the ceremony.
All right.
I want to do my turn now.
Thurin, what do you do? Or do you move? Or do you stand there?
I think, God, since Thurin is at full hit points and he has a 17 armor class, he is going to pop up his shield and maybe take a little bit of point.
Okay.
Just to maybe take the heat off of other people.
Got it. Perfect. Edwin, it is your move.
So Edwin is going to step behind Thurin and all of the people who are much less squishy than he is.
Yep, nope, that's fair.
So Brian, how is your ruling on multiple attack spells? Can I cast? Do I need to declare all the targets right away, or can I cast one and see if people down and then move on to the next?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So, are we referring to Scorching Ray in this instance?
This one's Magic Missile.
Oh, Magic Missile. Yeah. So each missile, exactly. You could.
I can aim one at a time.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. So what Edwin does is steps back and gets into a ready position with his wand outstretched and starts to conjure up 3 magic missiles. The first of which I would like to target toward the first tiefling on my right, in the front lines.
Is there a boy and a girl tiefling? Or you said they were twins?
Yes, actually, because that's better than what I said. It's a boy and a girl tiefling. Because not everyone has to be dudes in fantasy.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Actually,
I appreciate that.
I was just not assuming gender. So I said the one on the right. So I'm going to cast one. Edwin's going to cast his first magic missile at that one. And that's 4 force damage.
Okay. And you said that was the one on the left?
The one on my right. So, like, stage left.
Oh, my God.
Perfect. He is still up.
All right. Now, my second one is coming right at him again. And that's a 5 force damage.
He goes down.
Awesome. Now, my third and final one is going toward the next one. The other tiefling. And that's only 2 force damage.
Got it. He does not go down.
Awesome. Well, yeah, that's Edwin's turn. Edwin steps back in a defensive position behind the front line of our party and casts out 2 magic missiles at the first tiefling and downs them, and casts out another one to start picking away at the other one.
Related note, I may go back on that, rereading the specific spell description for Magic Missile. Not now, but at the end of this, remind me to look that over again, because it does mention simultaneous. So
it does. I've just seen it ruled either way, so I figured I would ask.
No, and I'm totally keeping it that way for now, because it to me makes more sense. Because why wouldn't I be able to be like pew pew pew?
Yeah. Cool.
But anyway, just mentioning it because I may take that back later. And if somebody wants,
especially at higher levels, once I start to be able to cast more than 3 missiles, I would imagine like being able for it to be that pliable starts to get a little more powerful.
Yeah.
so we could take that away later.
Like I said, and that way anyone listening isn't like, this guy doesn't know what he's doing.
You ever played D&D? I don't know.
Never in my life.
All right, Jeep, it is you.
You said they are 45 feet away?
Yes.
Okay. I will run 25 feet to them and shoot or throw a dart at the cleric behind the tiefling.
Okay.
Okay.
Roll. If you move 25 feet, they do not have cover, because I'm presuming that you're at an angle.
24 to hit.
Well, that doesn't miss.
And it's a dart, so I add my dex to it. Okay. So
Are you?
6 6 damage.
You're throwing the dart, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's finesse, so you could do strength or dex, so whatever is better.
Okay. So 6 damage.
Nice. It hits him center point. He is still standing, but he looks on his, last legs.
How many legs does he have?
Only 2, but they're very short.
So are mine.
The tiefling looks at his downed companion, who is still material, and looks to you and rushes across the battlefield, making it roughly 15 feet before you, before he hurls his sword directly at Thuin. Oh my god.
Oh no. Okay. What did I do?
Well, you're the one in front, unfortunately.
That's fair. Else I did kind of...
Thurin.
I took out one of their teammates. That's fair.
So...
Come on, hit me.
Stop trying to hit me and hit me.
All right.
Come at me, I dare you.
He gets, what I would say, awfully lucky. Because he rolled a 21.
Ooh.
You can stop coming at me. All right.
I don't think he did.
Oh.